I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro for that. I'm pro having... Now, can we do it? I don't know. And the ballroom? I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit. I was reading, it shows you like how the media is. Everything is always on one side or the other. When he's first mentioned it, it was like all about, oh my God, he's desecrating the White House. Then I finally read, oh, well, you know, they've done to the White House before. It's just a building.
Bill Maher and Bill O'Reilly just delivered a striking reality check on why traditionally deep blue states are suddenly shifting red, and the reasons are nothing short of surprising. Honestly, I never thought I'd witness a moment like this, but here we are. Pay attention as these seasoned political commentators explain how Donald Trump is winning over even the most steadfast liberals, those who once insisted they'd never change their minds. Let's dive in.
Trump wants to build a new missile defense system called the Golden Dome. Ah, yes, I read about this. That could cost hundreds of billions of dollars. Is that a good use of money?
Well, I mean, look, he's building, he wants to build an arch on the mall. You know, he's building a place he can dance at the White House and do the YMCA. He's going to do that there. And he wants to build a dome. I mean...
you got to protect the dance hall.
True. By the way, I'm very excited. I'm very excited, you know, when the Democrats take the White House in 28, when we have the ballroom, you know, the Pride Month in February is going to be great in that ballroom.
When Democrats take the White House in 28, and with a ballroom at their disposal, Pride Month in February is expected to be unforgettable. But for now, reactions are heating up over Trump's decision to install a ballroom in the White House. To many Democrats, it's more than remodeling, it's sacrilege. Critics rush to frame it as another instance of Trump turning a historic landmark into his personal stage. Jared Moskowitz even joked that Trump just wants a place to dance, the YMCA, a line that went viral on social media. Bill Maher, however, wasn't laughing. He fired back with a sharp, biting retort, tossing the joke right back at them. Maher pointed out that the outrage says more about the Democrats' fixation on Trump than about the ballroom itself. His response reflects the frustration of moderates tired of the left's automatic, theatrical anger over anything Trump touches. Maher fiery rebut a classic, clever, ruthless, and totally uncensored.
I have a problem if we don't.
Yeah.
Like, just because Trump thought of it, I'm not against it. Something that would stop the increasing number of rogue missiles that are in this world from maybe coming over here and incinerating me. Yeah, mark me down as a pro for that. I'm pro having... Now, can we do it? I don't know. You know, I read, you know, he says it'll take 3 years and $180 billion, and they say, well, that's... It's going to take whatever it is. Of course, everything is over scheduled and never comes in on time or on budget.
Maher didn't hold back as he slammed the DNC for its automatic rejection of anything connected to Trump. In his view, Democrats have reached the point where if Trump said rain is wet, they'd insist it's dry purely out of spite. He argued the left refuses to recognize any merit in Trump-backed proposals, even when they could genuinely benefit the country. As an example, Maher pointed to Trump's proposed Golden Dome missile defense system, designed to protect the U.S. from foreign threats. Rather than evaluate it on its merits, Democrats dismissed it immediately simply because Trump supported it. And he didn't stop there. Later, when the conversation turned back to the so-called ballroom uproar, things quickly heated up. Maher's response didn't just roast the critics, it exposed how political obsession can blind many to plain, practical logic.
But that's, to me, a worthy thing. And the ballroom, I don't give... I really don't give... I was reading... It shows you, like, how the media is. Everything is always on one side or the other. When he's first mentioned it, it was like all about, oh, my God, he's desecrating the White House. Then I finally read, oh, well, you know, they've done to the White House before. It's just a building, I think. Also, like, I realized... after reading other people, we don't have a place when they have state dinners. They're doing it in a tent. This is America. So do I give it that he's doing this to the White House? I really don't.
Here's the surprising part. those massive event tents used at the White House don't come cheap. During the Obama years, renting a temporary tent for a major event reportedly cost over $1 million for just one night. Building a permanent space, like a ballroom, that can host events for years without repeated setup, teardown, or rental expenses actually makes far more financial sense. It's practical, elegant, and in the long run, saves taxpayers money. Yet the DNC still objects. Rather than acknowledging the logic, they immediately criticize it simply because it's associated with Trump. That's exactly what Maher was calling out: the Democrats' refusal to accept basic common sense whenever Trump's name is involved, even when the plan is clearly more cost-effective and beneficial for future administrations.
Look, he raised the money privately.
Yeah, and it's private money.
You know, and if Newsom wants to knock it down when he's president, then he can knock it down, right?
Save your ire for the things that matter.
That's right.
You
But
know,
they don't know
people,
what matters.
Well,
Well, you know as well as I do
I don't give a shit.
that the media is not in the business any longer of reporting what matters. It's not. They make their money either hating or loving Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's where the cash register is. What matters doesn't matter to them.
Okay.
O'Reilly hits the nail on the head. Today, media barely seems to care about facts. It all clicks, ratings, and non-stop outrage. In his view, most outlets follow a simple formula: either provoke anger in their audience, or latch on to Trump for attention. There's no middle ground, no subtlety, and little real effort to uncover the truth. Instead of investigating, verifying details, or providing balanced coverage, they rush to publish whatever headline will drive engagement and boost ad revenue. Emotions have overtaken facts, and truth has been shoved aside in the race for traffic. O'Reilly argues this toxic cycle is why so many Americans have lost faith in mainstream media. Journalism has shifted from informing the public to manipulating emotions, creating an environment that thrives on division rather than delivering reliable information.
Do you think that Mamdani's election will lead more financial organizations to leave New York City for Wall Street South in Florida? Tell me, I've read that term just recently, Wall Street South, Florida. This is your state. What is that?
A lot of Wall Street guys have moved to Palm Beach. It's been happening really since COVID. It's accelerated with increases in taxes. It's not just out of New York. It's New Jersey, Connecticut, it's Chicago, it's California.
So they're fleeing high tax blue states for
Look,
Florida. And
this is the luckiest guy in the world that Mamdani got elected, because his district is going to explode. My house, I live 8 miles outside of Queens, has gone up 20% in value since Mamdani announced. Okay?
Because
people aren't going to pay the punishing taxes. New York is the highest tax state in the union.
But you said your house value has gone up.
Yeah, because they're moving to Nassau County.
Oh, they're moving out of the city.
Out of the city, and they can still take the train back in the city and not pay the millionaire's tax or whatever crazy thing this guy wants.
Now that Mamdani is officially in office, it's time to move past speculation, commentary, and endless predictions and focus on what he can actually deliver. Campaign promises and messaging are behind him. From this point on, his decisions will speak louder than words, and voters will judge him by results, not rhetoric. If he leans too far into socialist-style policies, he risks alienating moderates, independents, and even Democrats fatigued by ideological extremes, a misstep that could boost Trump and the GOP as the election cycle heats up. But if Mamdani governs wisely, emphasizing practical solutions, staying rooted in core democratic values, and earning real goodwill from everyday Americans, the DNC could enter 2028 stronger and more united than ever. His performance over the coming months won't just shape his own political path, it could redefine the direction, tone, and identity of the Democratic Party itself. Whether he becomes a unifying force or another polarizing figure will hinge entirely on the choices he makes. One thing is clear: the next chapter of his leadership will reveal if Mamdani is a true unifier or just another divisive presence in an already fractured political landscape.
But what people don't understand is he can't raise the taxes unless the state okays it, and the state is not going to okay it. So this is just smoke and mirrors. and the younger people who voted for him, they don't understand that. They don't know what seizing the means of production is, but Ken Griffin does. He's the big Wall Street titan. He knows what it is, and that's why he's down in Palm Beach.
We'll see if they move. I mean, you saw Bill.
They're going to move.
Well, look,
they're already moving.
Hold on, Bill Ackman threatened.
No, they're not.
Hold on.
People say they're going to move all the time after elections. They don't do it.
Bill Ackman said he was going to move.
You know how many people moved out of New York City in the last 3 years? 600,000.
O'Reilly argues that the recent surge of people leaving New York is directly tied to Meandany election as mayor, and he might have a point. If Meandany follows through on his hardline campaign promises, such as sharply raising taxes on millionaires, pursuing aggressive wealth redistribution policies, or even restructuring production lines in the name of economic equality, it could trigger an exodus similar to what California experienced under Gavin Newsom. The reality is simple: wealthy residents and major corporations don't stay where they feel penalized for success. They move their families, shift headquarters, and transfer capital to states with friendlier tax laws, lighter regulations, and governments that welcome them. O'Reilly warns that if this economic flight continues, it could cripple New York's financial ecosystem, shrinking the tax base, cutting jobs, and widening the gap between political leaders pursuing utopian policies and the working-class residents left to bear the consequences. If Mamdani isn't extremely careful, his so-called progressive experiment could push New York toward a financial crisis from which recovery would be painfully slow.
People move in America, and you're right.
No, but they're not moving because they want a better view. They like to keep more of their money that they earn.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Look, Florida is a really good case study. So when DeSantis became governor, there were 250,000 more registered Democrats in Florida when he became governor 8 years ago. Now there's 1.4 million more registered Republicans in Florida. That's all migration from COVID and re-registration from COVID, 100%. Right. So it absolutely is happening. Whether they will abandon New York in droves, I mean, Bill Ackman's a really good example. He said he was going to leave, right? He's been going after Mamdani. He spent a lot of money on him. And then the day Mamdani won, he said, I'm willing to talk and sit down and work with you. That doesn't sound like he's packing his bags.
Well, it's not everybody. But look, if you're a person in New York City earning $150,000, okay, that's a lot of money for most people in the United States. That's nothing in New York City. $150K doesn't get you very much. Right. It gets you In-N-Out burgers.
And that's the plain reality. The bigger issue is that things could get even worse under Mamdani leadership, especially with the next round of taxes he's planning to roll out. Let's be honest, nobody is leaving because of COVID anymore. It's been nearly 5 years since the pandemic ended. No one is uprooting their family or closing a business over something so far in the past. What's driving people out now is pure economic pressure. High taxes, crushing regulations, and layers of bureaucracy have already hollowed out California, pushing thousands of residents and major companies to relocate to states like Texas and Florida. O'Reilly warns that New York is heading down the same dangerous path, and he's likely right. When it becomes harder for businesses to thrive and people to keep the money they earn, they'll simply move their jobs, investments, and tax dollars somewhere more welcoming. If Mamdani doesn't rethink his approach, New York could face California's fate, losing people, businesses, and opportunity, leaving nothing but regret behind.
The working people at a certain level are going to say, I'm going to the congressman's state because there's no state tax there. There's no local tax there. I get to keep more of my money. This isn't complicated.
Well, I've looked at moving because I'd like to keep more of my money too. And
where should Maher move?
I'm not moving anywhere. I'm not moving anywhere.
No?
No.
You're not going to stay?
And the taxes here are ridiculous, but it's still Southern California.
If you asked Bill Maher where he might move if he ever left California, which state do you think he should choose? Share your thoughts in the comments at a debate worth having. Maher has openly admitted that California's tax burden has gotten completely out of control. He frequently points out how residents face punishing marginal tax rates, leaving many questioning what they're actually getting in return for handing over so much of their income. On top of that, Maher consistently criticizes the state's massive, tangled bureaucracy, from painful permit delays to confusing regulations governing construction, business operations, and even simple personal projects. He says the red tape isn't just frustrating, it's suffocating. Simple tasks become drawn-out battles, and progress feels like slogging through quicksand. So if Maher ever decides he's had enough and chooses to relocate, it won't be for prettier views or better weather. It would be to reduce his tax burden, escape crushing bureaucracy, and find a state where he can live, work, and create without constantly battling government obstacles. The real question is, which state actually checks all those boxes?
Do you think Vance or Rubio has a better chance at winning in 2028? Well, they got to wrestle the nomination away from Trump, which is probably not going to happen. Well, I mean, who knows?
You know, it's a totally different country.
What?
In 2028 than it is now. Totally different country next year. These nitwits on television go, oh, this is a harbinger of the midterms. You know how many things are going to change in the next 12 months?
Democrats are going to kill in the midterms for the same reason they killed this week. Democrats are going to wipe.
Depends. It depends. It depends if the prices come down.
Well, it's not just the prices.
Oh,
it's just,
that's the big one.
it's the perception that the people who get into power are always drunk with power. This administration's also just drunk.
I really don't understand why Maher seems so fixated on the idea that Trump won't relinquish power in the next election. He keeps sounding the alarm as if the outcome is already decided, and honestly, it feels a bit overblown. O'Reilly, on the other hand, offers a calmer, more grounded perspective. He reminds Maher that a lot can change in just a year or two. Political landscapes are never static, and making predictions this early is often misleading. After all, we're only a year into the Trump administration, and trying to forecast long-term trajectories or speculate about future elections now is premature. History shows that momentum can shift quickly, public opinion can swing, and unforeseen events can completely alter the conversation. O'Reilly's message is simple but essential: patience and perspective matter. Fixating on hypotheticals does no one any favors. In short, Maher's obsession with Trump refusing to step down seems premature. As O'Reilly notes, much can change in a short time, and time, perspective, and patience will ultimately reveal how events truly unfold. And with that, we'll wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.